Hey guys, this is Garies and welcome back to my game video channel. Here we are back on the island and we are continuing the lore episodes, guys. We are finally at the last NPC of this island and it is Gaius Nerva. So I believe this episode will be short as we won't see Gaius again. So I'm just going to very briefly summarize everything from him. So this episode should be much shorter. So in the next episode we will handle the question mark guy. If we check over here, where is he at? I believe it's this one. Question mark. So even though it doesn't show on the island, on the Gamepedia site it shows you which notes are on the island, and we'll handle that. And then after that we will bring all the notes together and we can see if we can maybe see something between the four NPCs and maybe the question mark guy, and see what we learned between them. So as I was saying, this episode should be shorter. I'm just going to run quickly over the points because, well, my opinion, I don't see why we should handle too much detail, and with all my notes that I have here, I don't see anything that is relevant basically to the lore itself. Maybe some obscure way it's coming out in other notes that I haven't read any yet, but yes, so we just basically get an idea of what Gaius was and how he operates, and we also at the end we basically get a little bit better idea of how Rockwell was. So, but before jumping the gun too much, let's start it off, guys. Is that an alpha? It looks quite big. No, doesn't look like it. In any case, so let's not waste any more time. Also, for some reason the skin is looking funky. If I zoom out, it's that skin, but over here it looks weird over my hands. But in any case, doesn't matter. Notes, we doing Gaius Nerva. Okay, I'm having the English translation on again. So I believe this was Latin. I'm not sure. Yes, it was Latin. Romans had Latin, if I remember correctly. But in any case, so back to character knowledge now. So we don't know anything. Okay, so in the first note here we see that he took leadership of some people that was fighting to survive. Okay, so nothing of importance there. Note number 2, the only thing of importance I see here is that he calls himself a centurion. So with this we can conclude that he was a military man in the Roman army or the Roman times or so on. So that wrong button. So that makes sense for the Latin. Okay, note number 3. Okay, here he just says he's training troops and he started the new legion. So here's his flag. So again, nothing of consequence for the island itself. For here we see that he tested his newfound military might against a small tribe, and with a depiction you can see he turned out victorious. So his military might turned out good, or proper. 5, here you see that he started playing around with defenses and he got defenses up and running against flyers. So, and here the depiction also shows they're beating flyers. Note number 6, he's getting here he talks about guns and that how he is getting accustomed to this new weapon. So in the Roman times guns wasn't there yet, so on the island obviously it is there. Okay, number 7. Okay, here we see he defeated another small tribe, and he think that the gods have sent him here for to bring order. So So here we can already... Oh, no, we should have that one. So here we can conclude he already has a massive ego. So here's a map of an island. Nice, okay. So he's taking some rest from war while scouts maps the land and observing other tribes. So that's why we can probably assume that is why he has a map of the island. Okay. Number 9. Okay. In this he only explains that he's beginning to get a fearsome reputation on the island, and it seems he's quite proud of it. Here's also building. The depiction over here shows buildings in ruins and on flames. 10. Here we see he says he had his first taste of diversity by a single female rider with a pack of small creatures escorting a convoy or small convoys. So Gary made this match, so to say. So 11. Here we see a tribe try to make trade negotiations with them, probably because they feared them. So they tried to make negotiations with them, but he had no interest in trade, and he suggested a meeting on a neutral site. And with how he states it, we can basically assume that he planned an ambush against this other tribe. So quite devious of him for doing something like that. No, what was that? Hey guys, this is note number 12. So it seems like another person was sent for negotiations, and they've heard that other tribes respect this man as a neutral party on the island, and that this man is in some way, quote, special. So, and the name is Edmund Rockwell. So we've read about that in the previous one, but we'll see at the end where and what we can conclude between all of them. So we're skipping that for now. Note number 13. Okay, so he got a lot of information from Rockwell about the island, and one of them was that this island is called an ARK. So now he heard that the island is an ARK. I believe this is the first time we're hearing it in all the notes as well. So that is maybe the only major point in all these notes. 14. So they started getting harassed by the painted sharks that was attacking their coastal fortresses. So they're basically only attacking them on land, as that's painted sharks' weakness. So here we see they trying to get into trouble with all the tribes on the island, trying to take control and all that. Okay, note number 15. Here he refers back to that small convoy that he had his first diversity with, and he says here that it was no fluke. And it seems he finally found out that lady's name, and he found out that it was the Beast Queen, and that she joined up with the painted sharks and forcing the Legion. Here's a depiction of that as well, forcing the Legion in full retreat. And he just says he will conquer the whole ARK. So he really is power hungry, this guy. Okay, note number 16. So here we find out here we see he found out the Beast Queen's real name, and that it is Li Mei Yin, a mercenary, not part of the painted sharks, and that he already has a plan to defeat her. So he's already planning ahead how he can defeat her, since she's not part of the painted sharks yet, or not yet at all. Okay, 17. Here he says the Beast Queen is no longer a concern. He had some spies basically plant explosives in a shark's camp, and when the Beast Queen went to investigate, the painted sharks basically mistook the Beast Queen's advances as an enemy attack, and they parted ways. So I believe that she was the best chance for the Sharks to survive. If we read her notes, we get to the same conclusion. Okay, note number 18. After the last mainland foothold, where they defeated the Painted Sharks, he started thinking of exploring potential for naval warfare, and that he's hoping that the Sharks' will hasn't broken and that they could hold out for a skirmish or two. So he's really evil. He wants to fight and he wants to battle, and sounds he's really conniving. Okay, note number 19. Okay, the only basic thing that we find out here is that he actually defeated the Sharks. So nothing else. I believe you can anytime pause and read the note as well. Okay, note number 20. He says here that he found Rockwell's compound and that he wants him as an advisor. So it seems like when he got the information from Rockwell that he really wanted more. So here we also see one of the obelisks. So let's see. That was 20, right? Just want to make sure that I don't skip one again. Okay, 21. He also finds obelisks fascinating, and he wants the power of the gods from them, or he thinks he will get the power of the gods. Sorry for hitting the mic there. So I don't know what he wants that much power for, but yeah, again we can see his power hungriness. Here we see that there's actually basically no more real opposition left on the island, and except for the tundra region where he is being careful of the howling wolves. So I believe the temperature and all that also adds to the carefulness of being attacking or attacking the tundra region. Okay, note number 23. Here he says he just wants a true capital. At the beginning, the new legion needs a true capital. So basically he wants to leave it for the next generation so that his legacy can live on after he passed. 24. Here's a picture of Mei Yin again. And here we find out he got reports that the Beast Queen is moving on one of the obelisks. So obviously he won't like that because he wants the power for himself. Note 25. Okay, this note is quite extensive on my note. Moved on the obelisk, but seemed he was too late as a Beast Queen was nowhere to be found. And after a while, there was a sudden flash, and she and her monsters appeared. And he sees that there's a new fearsome creature who attacked ally and enemy. And he says while the Beast Queen was injured, she did escape. But he captured an acquaintance, or another. Here we see a depiction also showing that a lady, and he found out it's acquaintance of Rockwell. And he's thinking that she could maybe have more knowledge than Rockwell on these obelisks. Okay. 26. Here he refers to Walker, and so talking about Walker, and so player knowledge. Sorry, got a bit confused there, or caught up there. So with player knowledge, we know that Helena was with Mei Yin. So now with player knowledge, we can finally deduce that her surname is Walker, as he's referring to this lady as Walker. So he's talking about Miss Walker here, and he got info from her regarding the bosses and so on, and with that info he decided to move on the third obelisk and taking on that creature that's there, and he finds out that it's a dragon, and they discovered that it gives you the third key to a cave that this Miss Walker found. So that is the secret cave, not a secret cave, but the other cave with pedestals and so on. So note 27. This looks dangerous. So he had major losses from a queen and fighting the dragon, and with this power loss, small tribes seems to be who have retaken the land, and he is planning his revenge when he gets his power, when he conquered the island basically. So when he finally gets his power from the gods, he's planning to take revenge on all the people that take over the land. So he may take over the island, but other people may not. So he's superior. So here again we can see his ego at hand. Again, 28. Here we find out they move on the cave, so that's a hidden cave. And while they moved on the cave, they had reports that the wolves, howling wolves from the tundra region, was moving on their base, and that some of the men wanted to turn around to go defend it, but he wants to go on and take over the island. And he mentions here that the only other one that can see his vision is Rockwell, his vision of taking over land. So here we can get a slight insight on Rockwell as well, that he does have a sinister side, to put it that way, that he wants to take over also. But I believe his things, or his ideals, can be a little bit more grounded in science, that he wants to take over everything to find out how everything works. But we'll get to that later. So note 29. Here we see he was victorious, and even the depiction depicts that, or the picture depicts that. But he lost all his men and all his animals and his beasts. So was the victory worth it? I don't know. Even if he gets a lot of power, if there's nobody else that follows him and he's alone on his desert island, or not desert island, deserted island basically, was it really worth it? And finally, note number 30. Nothing. How can there be nothing? So he says here he searched everywhere, and there was no loot or treasure or anything to be found. The only thing basically he found was a view. Yeah, the second line, at the end of the second line, for what? For a view. So here we can see he's quite disappointed that he didn't find anything. So bring it, abandoned me, all I hear is own voice echoing, betraying, destitute and alone. So I'm not sure what's going on here, because if we quickly bring in player knowledge, we know that you ascend after defeating the overseer. So I don't know if the overseer saw that he's too evil and that it won't fit in its plan for the ARK or however, and that Gaius couldn't ascend. So maybe that is why we don't see Gaius again. So if you close here, we have Gaius. We switch on all nodes. There's only one set of nodes for him. Unlike Helena or Rockwell, who has more nodes. And even Helena, there's a lot more nodes for her, excluding the dossiers. So, but Gaius doesn't have anything else. So maybe we will find out at a later stage. Maybe when we get to the question mark at the end, or not at the end, on the next episode, maybe we can find out what's going on. Hopefully that will have some more clear pictures, but we'll do assumptions. And at the end of all the lore, we will basically bring everything together that we've learned across the past couple of weeks. So as I said in a previous episode, we'll only do one lore episode a week because it does take a little bit of time and it's not fun as playing the game itself. So why does a question mark goes to the one who waits? Okay, no, don't open it. So maybe I spoiled something for us now. Oh goodness, I hope not. There's 50 normal ones and then the one who waits. So the one who waits, let's quickly see, is only on extinction, I believe. Okay, so they combine to each other, so that's cool. But in any case, guys, I hope you found some information in these notes. I know there's nothing exciting happening yet. Hopefully at the end we will get some excitement where we can combine all that we've learned, and then we can get a final clear picture of what the ARKs is, what they're doing here, and why we are here. At the end of extinction we do see what the purpose of the ARKs was, but there's no answer of who did this, and how we got to the ARKs, how we got from different time periods, etc. I know in the overseer's command center, observation deck, that's the one. There is hologram showing DNA and stuff, DNA manipulation, but there's also a DNA strand that we don't recognize as human or animal. So there's so much more questions that's unanswered, and that is my objective, guys, is to get the final objectives of that, not objective, conclusion of everything. So once again, I hope you liked this episode, guys. I hope you found information that you didn't know, or that you're eager to find out the conclusion of everything. If that's the case, please leave me a like. If you don't like much of the information going through here, you're welcome to give me a dislike. And if you like, please tell me why you disliked it, something particular or something, so that I can work on my content to make it more enjoyable for everybody in the future. And if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe. Check the description for links to my social media, my Twitter, my public Discord, my public ARK server that we run. Anybody's welcome, no prerequisites. Just as long as you're a friendly player, then anybody's welcome. So thank you for joining me again, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.